When we speak to you about the vibrational escrow that you are uniquely building, we see it as a reality that is as real as everything that you know to be. It is a reality that is real, and it is yours, and the source within you and all resources of the universe are backing it up. And we want to explain to you this vibrational escrow. Do you sort of kind of know what we mean by it? You are source energy. You come forth into this physical body, you mix it up, and you give birth to desires. And every time you know what you don't want, you know what you do want, and you send a rocket of desire that precedes you, that the source within you takes hold of and focuses upon and holds in what we are calling your vibrational escrow. Let's see if we can find a way of describing it. It is a vibrational amassing of energy that was set into motion by the uniqueness of that which is you before you were born, and has been added to every day of your experience since. If you could see the aerial view of it in the way we see it, it shines 1,000 times brighter than you do from a vibrational aerial perspective. In other words, it's huge. It's the you of you. It's who you are. Now, so we just wanted to give this to you as a sort of basis of understanding of who you are. We want you to understand that when life causes you to ask for something, you create a vibrational escrow that you continue to add to and 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 add to. And when you find ways to quiet your mind, to release resistance, or to find thoughts that are resistant free, and you learn to hold yourself consistently, chronically, in vibrational alignment with who you really are, you begin to see the world through the eyes of Source. You begin to understand things as they really are. The distortions of all things begin to fade. Your purpose and reason for living begins to come full view. And most important, you begin to understand your place in this leading edge expansion, your place in the universe. And then what happens to you is your feeling of well-being and worthiness, your feeling of self-appreciation sweeps around you and through you and permeates everything that you are and radiates to the boundaries of this boundaryless universe and assists everyone who comes into contact with you, even in the slightest way, of being uplifted, because you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the source within you. You are no longer a fragmented shadow of who you really are. You are who you really are. So, we've called this gathering the Art of Allowing, because it's the art that you're learning of allowing yourself to really be who you are. And of course we know you're here in your physical form, and you are wanting things of a physical nature, and maybe the tone of this message to you makes you wonder if it's right for you to be thinking of money or thinking of relationships, thinking about the things you want, rather than more spiritual things like connecting to Source and living your life's purpose and being who you really are. And we say nothing could be more living your life's purpose than to be here mixing it up and coming to your conclusions about what you want. There is not something more virtuous about one desire than the other. The thing that is virtuous is coming into alignment with that which is really you. In other words, coming into alignment with the you that you have become. So we've just got to tell you this story, even though many of you have heard it before. Hear it now like you've never heard it before, because this is who you are, and this is how it all fits together. You, source energy. Before you came into this physical body, source energy, hear it and try to embrace it. We can feel it bouncing off of many of you. Source energy, way too big. Source energy, way too big. Well, deal with it. Source energy, you, source energy before you came forth into this physical body. And then you said, I would like to express in physical form, and so a part of that source energy that is really you comes forth into this physical body, and splat, you're born. Right away, you become socialized with those around you, but you are still knowing who you are. In fact, in those early days of your physical birth, you are expressing one stream of pure positive energy, the point of view of Source, now being seen through the tiny eyes of the tiny infant that those around you are calling, oh, look at this unknowing little baby. And you are knowing, I am knowing all, because I have just come fresh from the place that knows it all. And then Here you are in your physical form. You begin to integrate yourself into your society. You mix it up with others. And all day, every day, through the deciphering of life that you are living, you, genius you, brilliant God force you, give birth to new rockets of desires. If someone's rude, you want them to be nicer. If you're rude, you want to be nicer. If you don't have enough of something that you need, you ask for it. In other words, all day, every day, at all levels of your being, even cellular levels, you're asking. And law of attraction is matching your requests in this way. So as you are asking, there is, as with all things that are ever created or manifested, there is a rocket of desire. There is a vibration that precedes manifestation, that exudes from you, that radiates from you, a signal or request or asking that radiates from you. And as it radiates from you, law of attraction and all that is match that vibrational signal. That's why we say to you, when you ask, it is given. Even when you do not use your words to ask, in fact, especially when you do not use your words to ask. When you have life experience that makes you want something, you send out a rocket or a request, and that request is answered immediately. So fast that if you would allow it, those around you would call you the miracle maker of all miracle makers. But you don't allow it, because you're physically rooted, and that's not a bad thing usually. But the more you continue to beat the drum of where I am, the more you disallow yourself the receiving of what you've asked for that has already been given to you. In other words, when you ask, it is given. The question is, are you letting it in? And the answer to the question, are you letting it in, resides in how you feel. If you're ornery, you're not letting it in. If you're afraid, you're not letting it in. If you're mad at somebody, you're not letting it in. If you are feeling negative emotion, you're not letting it in. And the reason that you're not letting it in, almost without exception, is because you feel that you must justify the receiving of what you're asking for by the defending of how badly you need it or want it. You feel that you need to point out all the things that are wrong, all of the injustices and unfairnesses, all of the reasons. Your mother sort of taught it to you. You had to plead a pretty needy case to her. You said, I want this, and she said, they want water in hell too. Esther has severely missed that line now that she no longer believes in hell. Your mother says, why do you think that you should get what you want? Everyone wants. Everyone wants. And in time, she trained you to understand that if you don't really need it, she's probably not going to help you get it. And so you began telling your story differently. But I need it. I will die if I don't have it. And little by little, most of you have oriented yourself to focusing upon why you want what you want by pushing against the other end of the stick. In other words, every subject is two subjects, what's wanted on one end and what's not wanted on the other. Wellness on one end, illness on the other, abundance on one end, poverty on the other. Clarity on one end, confusion on the other. In other words, every subject is really two subjects. And you could be vibrating on either end of the stick or somewhere in between. The question that we want you to begin asking yourself is, where are you vibrating on this stick of possibilities in relationship to what you want? And the answer lies in the emotions that you feel. If you feel fabulous, you're up there chronically in vibrational alignment with what you've been asking for. And that fabulous feeling cannot continue long without manifestations that match it and back it up and support it coming into your experience. Its law is just the way the universe works. But you can't continue to focus on injustices and beat the drum of what's wrong about things and be a vibrational match to what you're asking for. If we were standing in your physical shoes, we would bless the culprits that surround you. We would bless the wrongdoers, the rude ones, the cynics. We would bless the ones that seem to want to take from you or seem to want to poke at you. We would bless them for the contrast they provide. For without them in their differences, you would not be inspired to what you want. But when you are prodded and poked into identifying what you want, and you don't turn your undivided attention to what you want, you really can't blame them for the bad way you feel. Because you have the ability to focus upon what you want, regardless about what anybody else is doing. It comes down to the power of using the focus of your mind. And many of you think, oh, we're in one of those weird seminars. They're going to start talking about mind control again. And we say, because you are vibrational beings, you must address the vibrational nature of your being. And the more you become those who try to create through your words and action, the more you separate yourself from the knowledge of who you really are, and the weaker you become as an individual or as a society. You can't continue to do the work of creation through words and action when the work of creation has always been about the alignment of thought. There is always thought, and the more thought is focused upon, the more form it takes, until there is manifestation that you call your real life experience. So you hear about law of attraction, so think about law of attraction's response to this vortex that was set into motion by you before you were born. Some of you come forth in clusters. Those of you who recognize your soulmates, you've added to your vibrational escrow. When you come together with a soulmate and you begin then contributing to your vibrational escrow, it is exponentially expanded. It is a powerful, powerful thing. So here is this vibrational escrow, and law of attraction is responding to it. Now think about what that means. Feel the vortex of summoning to that. Now, sometimes you feel an impulse you call inspiration. That's because you've let go of your resistance, and the vortex is drawing you to it. And you know what? The advantage of you letting yourself be drawn to your vortex of creation? Everything you want's in it. Who you really are is there. And everything that you've been asking for, every moment of everyday sense is there. The new and expanded version of you is there. The source energy version of you is there. Now, we want you to feel this vortex. We want you to feel the power of that. We want you to think about creation in the way that it really is, because sometimes you think creation is about, oh, I want that car, so I'll figure out a way to get that car to me and me to that car. And we say it's one way of looking at it, but there's a much more powerful way of understanding it. Your creation is about rendezvousing. Your creating is about rendezvousing with those things that you are a vibrational match to. Oh, now you can be out here in your physical form. You can be ornery about this and worried about that, and you can be creating these little mini vortexes, and you can be rendezvousing with traffic accidents and with people who are bothersome in different ways. You can be rendezvousing with the things that you don't want to be rendezvousing with, or you can let go of that and begin rendezvousing with who you really are. We just want you to feel the momentum and the current that begins to be felt by you when you consciously acknowledge who you really are, and you begin letting go of the resistant thoughts and letting yourself go with the flow of who you really are. We've been describing this flow like a powerful river that when you put your raft in it, the river's just going to take you with it. And we want you to understand that this is a powerful river that will take you with it and is taking you with it. But if you're not going willingly, you're not having a very comfortable ride. Oh, you're going. You're going because you cannot not continue to be who you are. You can't say, well, in this lifetime, I've decided to change the deal. I want to step outside of the laws of the universe. I want to forget who I really am and my reason for being. And I think I'll just bang around here separately, apart from who I really am. And we say, oh, you can pinch yourself off pretty good. You can find enough things to fuss and worry about. You can dissect the world and find enough things that you find is unjust or unloved or unliked. You can feel bad enough about yourself and others that you can pinch yourself off from the vortex that is really you, meaning you're not going willingly. And when you croak, oh, you're going to have a fast ride. In other words, when you reemerge into pure positive energy from your resistant platform, you will then, in one fell swoop, leave all of that behind. We just think it would be ever so much more delicious if you could, thought by thought and attitude by attitude and enemy by enemy and problem by problem, release your resistance and let yourself become who you really are. And when you let yourself be who you are, oh, life is so sweet. We cannot find words to describe to you the sweetness of the way life is when you are tuned in, tapped in, turned on to the pure positive energy that is you. We are eager to talk with you about anything. We think you now understand everything we know. We've given you insight about who you are. You will never again feel negative emotion and not know what it means. You will never again feel negative emotion and not know that it's just you in your temporary state of insanity, holding yourself by virtue of this thing that seems important but isn't, in vibrational discord of who you really are. What do you want to talk about today? You've come with things. will be a perfect unfolding. Just relax and enjoy.